The Nabongo Cultural Center and Shrine is a shrine and cultural center that is dedicated to the Wanga Kingdom of the Luhya people in Kenya. The shrine contains the tombs of Wanga kings, also known as Nabongo, that are buried there, including the founder of Mumias, who is known as Nabongo Mumia. Locally, the shrine is known as Eshiembeko and is managed by the Luhya Council of Elders. The site contains various structures on the 12 acres of land. There's a royal mausoleum, a cultural center, a museum, library, bar, and a restaurant. Follow us as we take you through the Nabongo Cultural Center and Shrine and see what it has to offer. So when you first arrive here, you'll have to ask for a tour guide. This is the best way for you to immerse yourself into the history of the Wanga Kingdom. So with Kenya being known for its wildlife and its coastal beaches in Mombasa, I think it was time that the government decided to do something new. So back in 2008, the government decided to open this cultural center to preserve the culture of the Wanga people. The building was officially opened by the Right Honorable Raila Amolo Odinga as of 13th December 2008. And well, this is where the culture of the Wanga is preserved. And I'm going to take you through a tour of this place so that you can know about your history. Plus, we got some amazing stuff that you're going to know about the king. Let's get started. Our visit starts by going to the office, where we have to pay an admission fee of 100 Kenya shillings. The tour guide will take you through the genealogy of the Mwanga and the Wanga Kingdom, as well as its history. You'll also get to visit the mausoleum, the current king's hut, and the assembly area, which is also known as the parliament. Also, you'll have the opportunity to visit Nabongo Mumia's homestead. Now it's time for a history lesson from our guide. Pay attention.
I'm Oliver here, and I will take you through the Kabaka Mwanga third genealogy in the 11th century. First of all, at this place we call it Eshiengo or Nabongo Cultural Center, meaning the Eshiengo or the shrine means that is the place where the second battle of the kings is taken place. Here we preserve our kings' tombs. Yeah. And Kabaka Mwanga, that genealogy starts Kabaka Mwanga. You know, early enough, Bantu people, Kushites and Semites, both of them migrate from Egypt, migrate to various parts of the eastern part of the Africa. Others settled in different parts, and while Kabaka Mwanga settled at Lela, where we call it the Nyanza province nowadays. While he was at Lela, he was able to raise the following number of the sons. They were 8. Aliakala, Morono, Mtende, Wanga, Wamoi, Wehova, Sakwa, Mugoya. You'll find that under Sakwa was the last born son, and under Sakwa, for him, although they were born at Lela, or Nyanda province, but they also migrated to various parts of northern Kaviranda. And early enough, we did not call western or eastern. We were calling northern and southern Kaviranda. So, various sons, others migrated to northern Kaviranda, while others migrated to southern Kaviranda. So, Sakwa, Mugoya, Wehova, Wamoya, and Wanga. Those are the sons who migrated for the southern Kaviranda. Sakwa separately, Bondo. Right now, where our Honorable Raila Amolo Odinga is staying, and Raila Amolo Odinga is the greatest grandson of Sakwa.
Okay.
And you find that since Sakwa is the greatest grandpa of Raila Amolo Odinga, Wanga also is the greatest grandpa of Raila Amolo Odinga. They are related. So if you see him proclaim that I'm the 13th greatest grandson of Wanga, is a true story. So Wanga indeed, although they were born at Lela, he visited to Tiriki where his brother was staying, Wehova. There he did not settle. He still had that spirit of adventure for migration. So he migrated to Imanga, where he found a well-developed chiefship under Chief Muima. By that time, Chief Muima employed him, welcomed him, and employed him as a herds boy or a herdsman to look after the cattle. One day, the wife of the chief wants to take food to Wanga, because if you employ a servant in your compound, you have to provide for him shelter and food. So when the wife gave Wanga food, she noticed that although this guy was working, but his left hand was working while hiding that left hand in the skin cloth. And the time he was waiting the house to take rid of that food or to eat that food, the wife noticed that this guy had a black bracelet ring on the hand. We call it omukasa. That's an symbolic to show that Wanga was a person from the royal family and not any other family. So it was a taboo for a royal family to employ somebody from the royal family. So if you be found, you could have made an offense or bring a bad omen in the community. So Chief Muima ought to slaughter a sheep to appease what? The community, or to cleanse the community. Since Wanga had brought a taboo in that community. But Wanga was reluctant due to his generosity, and instead he claimed to be given a calf which he was looking after. That was not enough. Chief Muima said it is not enough for appreciation to such a person. So he also allocated him a place to stay, and Imanga is 50 kilometers from Nyasa town. So after he allocated him a place to stay, his brothers Mutende, who was staying at Kuria, and we were coming looking after him because he departed without consulting them. So they were eager to know where is their younger brother. So they found him at Imanga, commenced to him going back to Tiriki, but he was reluctant. Instead, they went and bring him a family that he was left at Tiriki. There at Imanga, when he was assigned a place to stay, being acknowledged by the community, now that bring the collapse of Chief Muima chiefship and the rise of Wanga Kingdom.
Yeah.
While he was at Imanga, he was having the 5 sons who were Morono, Bata, Wabala, Munyafu, Namakwa. You will find that the name of the son became the name of the 5 major clans of the Wanga community. Reason being, while he was at Imanga, he noticed that maybe the community surrounded me. They could not acknowledge me as much as they can as I being their king, because I have just come and find them living on their own and having their chief. So he allowed his sons to intermarry by their nephews. So that after they intermarry, he said, now if you are being called Moron, you are going to be called Abamuron. If you're being called Mbata, your clan be called Abambat. If you are being called Wabana, your clan is now Abashitete. If you be called Muniafu, your clan be Abamuniafu. Now your clan be Abamako. Although both of them, they are one tribe.
Yeah.
After doing so, he also did not settle at Nyaska anymore. He migrated to a place known as Eshenor in Matungu. He is the key founder of this land called Eshembeho. Yeah. After doing so, he introduced the hereditary kingship. Hereditary kingship, it means that somebody is ruling and he's being succeeded by his firstborn son. After introducing such hereditary kingship, we have from the 11th century of his livelihood, we have the 14th kings who have ruled after him. And the current king is Nabongo Mumia II. The kings who have ruled after him are Wabala, Muswi, Chiwire, Msindalo, Chitechi, Netia, Osundwa, Wamgoya, Shiwundu, Mumia the first, Shitawa, then Mumia the second.
Okay, so this Mumia is the one that the colonialists came, they found.
Mumia the first was the one who colonized, whom the Europeans came and collaborated with him.
Oh yeah.
After collaboration is when the Europeans changed the colony, Kenya as their colony.
Yeah.
And Arabs were the first people to adventure to the coast. They were traders. When they were trading, they found King Nabongo Mumia taking the rule all the way from Jinja, Uganda to Naivasha. So you could not pass his territory without his ticket, giving you a permission. So when they came to him to ask for that permission, he gave them a ticket to trade across the region. So the Arabs were the first people to come, and they also give him a present in the form of cloth.
So this Wanga Kingdom was very wide. It was from Jinja in Uganda.
We'll say, in fact, that Kabaka Mwanga, Kabaka, we have Kabaka Mwanga, Kabaka Mtesa.
Oh, the ones in Uganda.
In Uganda. They are related.
Oh, they are part of this.
They are part of Bantu people. So Mumia was taking that controlment of that or ruling of that king of that as he taking the land of his greatest grandpa.
Okay.
Straight away from Jinja, Uganda to Naivasha.
Okay. So that is very understood. So you guys have known the Wanga Kingdom is stretched from Jinja in Uganda all the way to Naivasha. So it was a very large kingdom. It wasn't just a kingdom based here in Western Kenya. It was a very large kingdom, possibly one of the biggest kingdoms in Kenya at that time. That was an in-depth history of the Wanga Kingdom. Let's now go into the museum, where various artifacts and historical items are stored. We start at this pictorial frame that shows the current Nabongo, Peter Nabongo Mumia, with various leaders of Kenya. We can see the former President Uhuru Kenyatta, the current President William Ruto, and the former Prime Minister Raila Odinga, among other leaders. In some of the photos, you can see the king is wearing a leopard skin. This is the same leopard skin that you can see here. It's a real leopard skin, and the Luya community refers to it as ingwe. The leopard skin is worn by the king to symbolize his authority over the Luya land, as well as during his coronation ceremony. Back in the day, before the Europeans came to Kenya, the leopard was deemed as the king of the jungle. It was only after the white man came to Kenya that the title of the king of the jungle shifted from the leopard to the current lion. Moving on, we have four-legged and three-legged stools. These stools are used during the king's coronation. And over here, we can see the famous Luya Isikuti drum that was used in festivals, churches, burials, and other ceremonies.
Where you are pointing now, we have the different ornaments there. We have the black iron ore, which is the stone that was melted to make these other artifacts, like sickle.
So these are the tools that the Wanga people were using.
Were using them.
Okay.
During harvesting of finger millets, yeah, maybe digging sweet potato. The other stone was used for grinding purposely, or when you are washing your feet. These other precious stones were used in putting the pot that contains clean water, water to be cool. You have this one were used as a hoe, jembe. They could take it that way, then using in digging in your farm. You have this spear and this shield as indication. You have other spears here, inside here.
And some arrows.
I have the picture of the first Nabongo Mumia on the wall.
This is the one who collaborated with the colonialists.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And you have jewelries here. Some were weared they were being used as necklaces. Others as the one used them on the flutes while dancing. Yeah. I have different types of horse here. You have the tooth of hippo. You have the horns of antelope. The other ones were used as a communication purpose. This one was used as a medicine by the herbalist.
Nabongo Mumia allowed Arabs to trade in its region. When the Arabs came, they introduced the monetary system, and this slowly phased out the barter trade system. Over here, we can see the notes and coins from different countries and regions that the Arabs traded in. The trading with the Arabs introduced new items into the Wanga Kingdom. For example, Nabongo Mumia was the first person in these parts of the kingdom to ever use proper utensils that were given by the Arabs. These are the first ever utensils in Western Kenya, and only the king used them. Then we can also see a padlock and Nabongo Mumia's identification card, known as the Kipanded system, that was given by the Europeans during the colonial era. Back in the days, women used to cover themselves with this. In Luya, they are known as sikata. These are only used to cover the front parts. In the instance where a woman was walking and met her father-in-law, after passing him, she could turn the sikata around to cover her behind. But if she met two men from both the front and the back, she had to sit down on the road with her head bowed down till the men passed before she could continue with her journey. Next, we have the first photograph of Nabongo Mumia that was taken by the Europeans in 1908. The photo is in good shape and quality, considering that it has been over 100 years since it was taken. In fact, it's 114 years to be precise. Then we have some gourds that were used for carrying milk and porridge, as well as water and other medicinal concoctions. Over here is a photo of Nabongo Shitawa, the son of Nabongo Mumia. With the Luya community known as food lovers, they had ancient basketry that were used in carrying their main staple diets. We are talking about ugali, cassava, yams, and sweet potatoes. This top basket was used for winnowing, while the bigger one was used for storing maize and beans. And these pots over here were used for cooking, while this smaller clay dish was used for serving stew. Then we have some woven items known as ingara. The smaller item is put on the head while you're carrying water in the pots. The bigger one is used to support the pot that is filled with water. The water storage pot is one that is put under the table. In Luya, it is known as esiongo. Moving along, we have the ajua. This game was played by the Council of Elders while they passed time and discussed issues that were affecting the community. But these were only small issues. For bigger issues, there needed to be a serious setting, which we'll see later in the video. Today, you can still find elderly men playing this game all across Western Kenya, as well as in parts of the coastal region. Okay. Okay. Then we have some more pictures over here. One thing to note, Nabongo Mumia had 100 wives, and some of whom we can see in this bottom left photo. As you can see on the photos, the women are almost naked, only wearing the sikata. This next photograph shows the king's warriors during that time. Next we have some more pictures of Nabongo Shitawa as well as Nabongo Mumia II and his wife the Queen Mother, as she is referred to here. In the middle of the museum, there is this grinding stone that was used by women to grind maize and sorghum and turn it into flour. Imagine how long it will have taken to fill a basket with flour when grinding maize while kneeling. Hats off to our ancestors. As we finish our museum tour, we have the first cloth that was given to Nabongo Mumia by the Arabs. We can see him wearing this cloth in this photograph. Next, we have a cloth that is made from the skin of a colobus monkey. This cloth was worn by the Council of Elders. When they wore the cloth, they held a spear and a shield and then sat on one of the three-legged stools while the king sat on the four-legged stool during ceremonies.
So guys, there we have it. A very rich history of the Wanga Kingdom, probably the greatest kingdom in Eastern Africa. We've just toured the museum and right now want to go to the mausoleum. Let's go and see where the king rests and pay our respects to the Nabongo
Nabongo Mumia.
and pay our respects to Nabongo Mumia. Okay.
We have the number of 4 tombs of our kings. We were not able to identify the whole tombs of the kings, and we could not allocate them at the same point, since the kings who passed on had 13 by now. The 14th one is the current one and is still alive. So, Nabongo Mumia was born in 1697 and died in 1795. Nabongo Mumia was the father to Nabongo Shimidu, who was born in 1775 and died in 1880. And Nabongo Shimidu was the father to Nabongo Mumia I, who was born in 1849 and died in 1949.
Hey man, these guys are living 100 years. The kings were living for 100 years.
And Nabongo Mumia was the father to Nabongo Shitawa, who was born in 1911 and died in 1974.
Okay, so this Nabongo Shitawa, he was only about 63 years. What happened? Was he sick? Why did he die young while all these others are dying at 100?
He was sick.
Oh, so this guy did not live a lot, but still, there we go. So this is the father to the current.
This is the father to the
Guys,
current
this is
king.
the father to the current king. Yeah. The current king is
And
Peter.
that's the grandpa to the current king. Nabongo Mumia I.
So guys, we've seen 4 of the greatest kings of the Wanga Kingdom. We've seen Nabongo Mumia I, then we've seen the Nabongo called Shiundu, we've seen a couple of other guys. So right now, we're going to the tomb of the founder of the Wanga clan. That's Nabongo Wanga. That's the person who started this genealogy, and is the person that, whatever. That's the person who founded this genealogy. Okay, you guys, let's go. Soak in that history. This history won't be told anywhere. You won't find it in your history books. You are only finding it courtesy of Escaventure. Make sure you subscribe. Let's go.
Here, we can see the burial place of King Nabongo Wanga, who was born in 1050 and died in 1140. The king was buried just outside his main house. Of course, the original house was destroyed and a new house was constructed when a new king came to power. When a Nabongo passes on, the middle post in this house, which is also known as the king's post, is removed. This makes the house weaker and it will start collapsing. The house will be left that way until a new king is installed, and then a new house will be built and a new king post erected. Outside this house, we have a tree whose leaves have a bitter lemon taste. These leaves were used in cooking porridge to give it a bittersweet taste. There is also a raised assembly ground with a tree at the middle. This tree is over 900 years, and this is where the Nabongos held their meetings with the Council of Elders, foreign kings, local leaders, as well as the locals. This tree was planted by Nabongo Wanga. Let's now head to the lower part where the Nabongo Mumia homestead was located. And here we are. The first hut on our right is where the mother of the king stayed. Her task was to welcome visitors and to ask for the reason of their visit. After hearing the reason, the queen's mother will send for the king's warriors to come and escort the visitors to go and see the king. If you did not have an important reason to see the king's mother will turn you away. The hut in the middle facing the gate was the king's hut. This is where important meetings took place. The hut was regarded as the parliament where all laws of the land were passed. Today, this hut is a place where local leaders meet every evening to discuss politics, life, and other issues that affect the society while enjoying a pot of brewed busa, which is made by the local women who are employed by the current king. When you come to this homestead, do not expect to take any other drinks. Only busa is available. The hut on the right of the king's hut was the first wife's hut. This hut also faced the main gate. The huts for the other wives faced inside the compound. We also see a hut on the left near the gate. This hut is where the first son of the king lived. The main task of the son was to maintain security in the whole homestead. Apart from this, he would also take visitors to his father the king. And that wraps up our tour of King Nabongo's homestead. The Nabongo Cultural Center and Shrine is a beautiful place for you to visit. In case you are tired after a long drive, accommodation is available. There's also a modern restaurant serving the latest foods, but you definitely want to enjoy some of the traditional foods of the Wanga Kingdom. Overall, it's a good place for you to relax. And as the sun sets, we are about to leave the shrine. So much history of the Wanga Kingdom preserved in these 12 acres of land and tucked on your way to Mumia's town in western Kenya. Next time you want to learn about the Wanga Kingdom, don't just rely on textbook information. Make some time and visit the Nabongo Cultural Center and Shrine on your way to Mumia's.
So as the sun was setting, we've just completed our tour. We had the most enriching experience. We've learned a lot of history, a lot of cultural information that we've learned about the Wanga Kingdom. And now the sun is setting. It's been a great tour, and all I'd like to tell you guys, whenever you have time, and you're passing by in Western Kenya, make sure you stop by the Nabongo Cultural Center. It's a nice place, full of history, and definitely you want to come here with your kids and everyone like that, so that everyone knows their history, so that you get to learn about your history. But until then, let myself go and savour the place, get a drink or something, and well, basically just pay homage to Nabongo Wanga and all the other Wanga kings.